Alright, everybody, this is the weekend. You know I don't usually put up videos on the weekend, but this is perfect time to do some fantasy football. And my boy Clutch City Cowboy here, he's the editor of TDCS.TV, and he's a self-proclaimed fantasy guru, and I will give him credit because he beat me. And this, huh?
The Oracle.
I will give you credit. He beat me, and not too many people can beat me on a consistent basis, so I'll give him a little bit. That much. But I'll see you. I'm down one game to you. I'll see you later. All right. Give me some of your starts for this week. Who must play?
There's a couple guys with Peyton Manning and Matt Schaub being out. The quarterback position wide open. Kevin Cobb versus Tennessee.
Right.
This could possibly be Kevin Cobb's ultimate test. This might be his last start if Michael Vick's healthy next week.
Right. They liked him in the locker room, though.
He'll definitely put up 2 to 3 touchdowns on Tennessee. The Cowboys did it, and a lot of teams are doing it these days. Tennessee's weak on that front. And then Joe Flacco versus Bills. That's just a matchup you have to salivate over. Joe Flacco's not the greatest quarterback, but the Bills aren't exactly the greatest defense either. So I look for him to put up 2 to 3 touchdowns at least.
Right. I was thinking maybe not on the Flacco, because I think they will run. I think Ray Rice might have a huge game, because the one thing the Bills can do is cover. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only thing the Bills can do, right? Really, is cover. So that's the only one to start that I was like, maybe I wouldn't do that. But yeah, Cobb, go ahead.
And Matt Schaub are both out. So.
Who is? Who's out?
Matt Schaub also out.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch versus Arizona. Last week he didn't have a great week. He did score a touchdown, but didn't get a lot of yards. This week I look for him to be beast mode. Go into beast mode and tear up that Arizona defense.
Marshawn Lynch is a good running back. He's a good running back. Yeah.
And then Deion Branch versus San Diego. Deion Branch is back.
He sure is. Jeez.
And Brady's going to find him a couple times against a weak secondary. They don't have Cromartie anymore, so he should get a bunch of looks at least.
All right. Okay, now give me some sits right quick.
Maurice Jones-Drew versus Kansas City. They are having horrible. He's my man. I love.
He's a first-round draft pick.
They're having QB problems, Shango.
Yep.
From what I'm hearing, Todd Bowman, 11 seasons in the league, he's only started 6 times, and he's 1-5 in those 6 starts. I don't see them getting to the red zone.
Nah.
They might put up yards, but goal line carries win league games.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
You
gotta have touchdowns to win.
If you don't have a quarterback, that will kill your fantasy running back.
I love Mojo. He's my favorite back, but I'm not starting him this week. Chad Henne versus Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh.
Hold on. Let me interject right here. Don't start any quarterback versus Pittsburgh, the Ravens, or possibly even the Jets. Only quarterbacks is like the upper top tier quarterbacks, the Mannings and those guys. Play them versus those defense. Everybody else, look for something else. I mean, and also with Miami, bench Ricky and Ronnie, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're more likely to get negative yards than positive yards.
Exactly, or at least negative points. Yeah, negative points in your league. All right, you have any more?
Roddy White versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a beast defensive back core. It's gonna be tough to pass in Cincinnati, and I don't see Roddy White putting up his regular numbers against this defense. And lastly, and everyone's gonna call me crazy, Brett Favre versus Green Bay. Brett Favre just hasn't looked great against anybody this year, and I don't see him being great against a defense that I actually think is good. That's
blasphemous.
With or without certain players on the they have too many good players on that defense that they can switch around, and they're still a good defense. Clay Matthews is back.
The one thing
put a lot of pressure on Favre.
the one thing I'm definitely going to give with you is the fact that Favre's offensive line is not there. They're not playing well. They have a backup center that we were just killing last week or whatever. So his line isn't going to be that good, and he's going to have Don Capers sending people like crazy toward him in some weird patterns, you know. So I mean, it's going to be a tough day for Favre. The only thing that makes me kind of weary that I would want to start him is because Aaron Rodgers is going to tear up Minnesota's secondary without Cedric Griffin. So I think Minnesota might be playing comeback ball, and when you play comeback ball, it's always good for fantasy. Maybe not good for your, you know, the overall outcome of the game, but it's usually good with fantasy. So that's the only thing. But he is ranked last under most of the main starters. Favre is ranked last this week, so you got a point there. Anybody out there you would pick up?
There's at least 4 players with Peyton Manning and Matt Schaub sitting out. I'd say Matt Castle versus the Jaguars. Jaguars defense is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And even though Matt Castle isn't the greatest quarterback,
yeah,
he's probably available to pick up, and he showed last week against the Texans.
I like Castle.
Bad secondary.
Yeah.
He can put up points.
I like Castle. I like Debo, and with those X factors of Jamal Charles and Dexter McCluster and Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones is a mini beast in himself. With that type of talent, it's going to open the field up for Castle. Any more?
I got Patrick Creighton versus New England.
Peace
Injuries to
back.
Stephen Floyd and Nene. There is no way he's not starting, whether he's the number 1 wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver, and Antonio Gates is
He looked
also
good.
might be out.
PC looked good last week. I was proud of him. I thought he disappeared. PC looked good.
Patrick Creighton has to do something this week for them to win.
I see one person. Go ahead.
I've also got Danny Woodhead.
Yeah. You like him, don't you? I see you picked him up in the league.
The thing is, he's a running back / wide receiver, so he's very usable.
Yeah.
And without Randy Moss, Brady's gonna find whoever's open, and they don't cover this guy for some reason.
Yeah. All right.
He's kind of like Dexter McCluster. He's that playmaker.
Right.
A guy that you really don't pay attention to until he's already gone. And last, Seattle defense versus Arizona. If your defense is out this week, that's the only defense you need to look at.
Seattle? But yeah, they've been playing good. I mean, I don't understand. But this year tells you how the talent level of the NFL is so small between team to team that a coach can come in and just change everything quickly. That gives me hope with my Cowboys. That gives you hope. All right, is everybody, I'm trying to wrap this up quick, but isn't everybody hurt this week? Everybody's got concussions? Or
this is just the 2 big ones in my mind. You talked about it in your last video, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Out with a concussion. There are 3 guys I think you can probably pick up if they haven't already been taken. Jason Avant of the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
When Deshaun Jackson went out, he stepped up big.
A lot of people are picking up Avant.
Michael Jenkins for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
He's not the number 1. He came back last week. He had a decent game. And then we talked about him earlier, Deion Branch. I think Deion Branch will still be available in most leagues because not everyone's sold on him. Pick him up. He's worth a try. And then the biggest news when I woke up this morning, Dallas Clark was placed on injured reserve.
Huge.
He was already going to
Huge.
It was already a bye week for them.
Huge.
It was already a bye week for them.
Yeah.
So people were already looking for other tight ends, but now you need somebody for the rest of the season.
That's
Here's 3 I put.
Go ahead.
Kansas City's Tony Moeki.
He's badass. Tony Moeki.
Castle targets him more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So he should be
Moeki.
consistent throughout the season.
Moeki.
Another one, now that Ben Roethlisberger's back, Heath Miller. You have to pick up, if Heath Miller's available, you have to pick him up. Because Ben Roethlisberger will find Heath Miller in the end zone, in 3rd and long, 3rd and short, whatever the situation is, he will find him.
Got it.
And then another that a lot of people are overlooking is Benjamin Watson of Cleveland.
Yeah, he's the target.
He's actually been one of the most consistent tight ends in the league.
Just a clap for Colt McCoy. Maybe we'll be talking about him one day soon in fantasy. Maybe. But a big clap for Colt. But go ahead.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
Watson, he's actually had he's been more consistent than Dallas Clark himself.
Yeah.
So he's also worth the pickup if he's available.
Cool. And any matchups to watch while we wrap this thing up?
New York Giants and Dallas, obviously, on Monday night. Sunday night football is good. Minnesota at Green Bay. And then the two, I would say, Cincinnati at Atlanta for the early game.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be should be a decent defensive game. And then the late game, the 3:30 or whatever, New England at San Diego.
Sorry, I automatically gag at New England. My bad. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up, but we're gonna do this every weekend. The videos are gonna be a little bit longer because it's for your weekend. Not too many people will hit the videos as the other ones, but we'll get our fantasy information. All right, holla at you. Peace. Thanks, Clutch.